This is a long-term review of Redshift Sports ShockStop Suspension Seatpost. Does it help you glide over the bumps, or is it a waste of energy and money?
Towards the end of last year, Redshift Sports kindly sent me a stem and a seat post. I've done 2 short-term reviews you might want to check out to add a little context to this video. If you're new here, I make adventure cycling and adventure swimming videos, mainly in the Scottish Highlands, and I do occasional reviews like this one. With COVID restrictions, I've also made a series of videos for new cyclists.
So today I'm going to do an out and back ride. On the way out I'll use the standard seat post that came with the bike, and I'll use the Redshift ShockStop on the way back to see how the two compare. I'll also try it with a bike packing bag slung underneath, because if it works well in that context, it could be really useful. I had been considering doing a similar test of the Redshift Sports ShockStop stem, putting a regular one on for half the ride and then swapping it too. But apart from that being more of a faff, I decided against it because I am convinced of the value of this stem. I think it's a great bit of kit. So personally, I don't need to test it.
I'm doing this test on a rough road up the shore of Loch Shiel towards Glenfinnan, about 15 miles each way. It goes through an area of commercial forestry and would wreck a road bike. It's one of the most popular gravel routes in Loch Harbour and can be ridden either direction. My outward ride ends at the Glenfinnan monument to Charles Edward Stuart, the Bonnie Prince, marking the place where he raised his standard in 1745 and began the Jacobite Rebellion.
And of course it'll also go down in history as the place where I tested the ShockStop seat post. It's not a fit and forget, at least not initially, but it's easy to adjust, and over the months that I've been riding on this, I think I've got myself dialed in. I've put on a little bit of weight in lockdown, and I'm carrying quite a big rucksack, so I've dialed it up even more. There is a table that comes with the seat post, but this is really just a starting point. It takes time to work out exactly how you should have this set for the sort of riding you're doing. Yeah, that's about right.
The saddle needs to be slightly higher than normal because of the sag when you put your weight on it, and you might need to adjust the setback because the bounce moves the saddle in that plane too. I think I have it about right. As I say, I've been using it a couple of months. In that time, my riding style has changed. In the past, on really rough stuff, I might have stood up to grind over it. Now I can keep my backside on the saddle and get better traction.
Riding along, I've been trying to think of the questions you might want to ask. The first one I've thought of is, does it work? Well, yes and no. If you're thinking of this as suspension, well, you'll be wrong. In fact, if you're on a gravel bike and you think you need rear suspension, then perhaps you're on the wrong bike. You could have it set very soft and it would act a little bit like full suspension, but then you would lose a lot of effort on the hill. I've got it dialed up much more, and that really does work. So think of it more as the ShockStop part of the name. It's a little bit like the stem. It takes the buzz out of the trail. Your backside stays on the saddle, you can really put some power down, and generally it's just more comfortable. Where would I use it? Well, let me tell you where I wouldn't use it. Redshift says it can go on a road bike, and if you have a back problem, then I imagine it would be fantastic in that situation. I don't think I'd put it on my road bike, because on a tarmac climb, I think I would feel psychologically that a lot of my energy was going into making those springs work. I don't think I'd use it in a situation where I had to carry my bike a long way. Pushing it would be fine, but if I knew the route involved a lot of carrying, well, it adds a little bit of weight. But I'd use it pretty much everywhere else, and I have done for the last few months. It just seems to iron out the bumps, and going out was an awful lot more uncomfortable than it has been coming back on this seat post.
How about bike packing? Earlier I loaded 2 kilos, about 4 pounds of tent, sleeping bag, mat and waterproofs into my Alp Kit bag to try. Obviously I can't guarantee your bike bag will fit, but if it fastens this way, it should. It's hard to see how well the post is actuating, but nothing got trapped and the seat post still worked.
I'm going to answer the big question, would I buy this? Well, full disclosure, Redshift Sports will probably give that to me. I offered to buy it, but they gave me the stem on the same basis, and I suspect they're going to give me that. I'll put in the description if that happens. But I'm trying to think of it from your point of view, would I buy it? I don't think it would be the first thing I would upgrade on my bike. I'd go for 2 good wheel sets, a 700 and a 650B first, and I'd definitely go for the Redshift Sports stem. That ShockStop stem is absolutely excellent. But then the seat post really would be a close third. If you ride the kind of terrain that you've seen me riding today in this fantastic part of the West Highlands of Scotland, then you would benefit, I think, from riding something like that. Initially, I was very skeptical. I thought this was a solution looking for a problem. I was also skeptical about the stem, but once I've ridden them, I definitely feel different about the pair of them. If you found this video helpful, it would be brilliant if you would give me a thumbs up, subscribe and hit the bell notifications, please. That way YouTube will point more people towards my channel. Take a look around, you never know, you might find some more videos that you like. Until next time, bye.